Carson, I know there's no moral victories, but towards the end of the game, you and Jason Kelsey were the only healthy players on the field from the offense, and you could argue you guys weren't even that healthy, and yet you guys still managed to have a chance to tie the game. What does that say about this team's toughness, and how proud are you of the way that game ended?
Yeah, I mean, really, last week, this week, obviously the ending's not what we wanted. But to see the way guys have fought and being down in both games and rallied back, and the resiliency of this team is something that I don't think you can question. And the toughness of these guys. And, I mean, you got injuries all over the place, and you got guys stepping up that maybe just got here this week or, all over the board. And that's never an excuse, but there's a lot of good we can learn from. And the fight and the effort is something that I'm so proud of these guys. To give us a chance to tie it up at the end of the game. Obviously, we came up short. We're frustrated with that, but I'm proud of these guys. We can keep building with this. We got a quick week to turn it around and start going in the right direction.
We'll go Mike and then Chris Murray.
Hey, Carson, what was it about Jalen Hurts' presence that got the offense going?
Yeah, I think, Jalen's he's a playmaker, and you bring him in off the bench, and defenses have to be ready for where he's at, where I'm at, all of the above, and I think it puts a little stress and a little pressure on the defense. There's some exciting plays potentially there to be had, and it's something that we're going to keep repping, keep working on, and hopefully finding ways to supplement our offense and find a way to get some big plays that way.
Chris and then John McMullen.
Yes, it was a gallant comeback today, but you all go through situations where you play great one half and then terrible. Why can't it be a little bit more consistent?
I only heard parts of that question, but I believe it was in terms of consistency offensively. And obviously that's something that I'm going to look hard at. And I think we're all going to look hard at because it's something that's frustrating to be down the way we were at halftime, to put that performance out there the first half. We got to be better. Plain and simple, we got to be better. We got to execute better. The Ravens are a good defense. They have a great defense. They make life really hard and challenging, and so we got to give them some credit. But we can definitely execute better early in games, and I'm confident that we'll get it figured out.
John McMullen and then Paul Domowitch.
Hey, Carson, can you kind of take us through that final 2-point conversion attempt? It looked like maybe you guys got out of the huddle a little bit late. Is that the case, or is it just a matter of Ravens making a good play?
Yeah, I mean, we probably did get a little later out of the huddle than we wanted. I think it's a 20-second play clock or something. Seems like it goes pretty quick on the 2-point plays. And so we got to be more urgent to get to the line and get our calls and get our checks. And, we had a scouted look there that we felt confident in that play. And they made a good play, made life tough on us. And, it's frustrating to come up short like that. But, hats off to them.
Damo and then Bo.
Yeah, Carson, you took a pretty good beating today. I can't recall in 4 years you taking the licks you took today. How did you feel in the fourth? I mean, in that fourth quarter when you guys were coming back, does pain become irrelevant at that point?
I mean, pain and soreness, all bumps and bruises, that's part of football. Every guy out there is feeling something along those lines. And within a game, you don't notice those things. Obviously, you wake up the next morning, you're going to be a little sore. That's part of football. That's part of life. But, I'll be fine. I came out just fine. And obviously for me and for a lot of these guys, we got a quick turnaround. We got a Thursday night football game, which is even harder on your body. So we got to, do the right things and take care of our bodies so that we're ready to go full speed on Thursday night.
Bo and Ed Benkin.
Carson, it seemed like the connection with Travis Fulghom continued. Are you sort of learning that he's a guy who you can throw to even if he looks like he's covered?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a baller. I said it last week. I see it in practice. It's good to just see guys get their chance and make plays. And he's a guy that, like you just said, I mean, it was zero blitz a handful of times today, and I looked to him. I just gave him a chance. I know I threw the one out of the back of the end zone, didn't give him the chance, but made sure I gave him that opportunity on the other one. And he keeps showing up, keeps making plays, and he's going to keep getting better too. And we're going to keep building our chemistry and our connection. But I have all the confidence in the world in him, and he's going to keep being a big part of this offense.
Ed and Tim McManus.
Carson, 4 catches for Zach today. He was limping around at the end. I know he still wants more production. Did you feel like you two were a little bit more on the same page today and took a step forward?
I'll have to watch the tape. I mean, I think there's still plays that I leave out there that, I think collectively him and I can be better at. And but honestly, there's a lot of plays going on in my head right now, so I'm trying to think of our connection. But that's something that I've never worried about. I mean, he made some good plays. I know I missed him on a couple of them, but he's a big part of our offense. Hopefully he's healthy and can get back out there Thursday.
Tim and then Martin.
Hey, Carson, this isn't the first time that we've seen you, come up big late in games and rally a team back, and including ones that are, decimated by injury. What is it about those moments that brings out the best in you? And is that something that you can harness, and apply to, earlier in games kind of moving forward?
It's a good question. And it's honestly, I think you just feel the kind of backs against the wall, time to make some plays mentality, and kind of just cut it loose and play. And, you're giving guys chances down the field. You're giving guys the opportunity to make plays. And I will also say, the Ravens did a lot of things late in that game that they just said, we're going to bring the house, and they kept blitzing and blitzing. And so that gave me the chance to kind of just retreat and give my playmakers the ability to make the plays. And guys stepped up, did a great job. And hard to fully say. It's just when you have that backs against the wall mentality, it's just, hey, you're just cutting it loose and you're just playing.
Martin and then Dave.
Hey, Carson, on the third play of the game, you went deep to Hightower and he couldn't come up with it, I guess. A, how deflating was that? And then B, you went back to him later and, the fact that he made that catch, how much do you think that helped his confidence?
Yeah, I have all the confidence in the world in him and really all these guys. Mistakes are going to happen. I've said that since I got here. Guys are going to drop passes. I'm going to fumble. I'm going to turn it over. Guys are going to miss blocks. That's always going to happen. And it's just, how do we respond? How do we bounce back? How are we resilient? And John's the same way. Obviously he wants that one back. Wasn't the start to the drive to the game we were hoping for. Shouldn't be in 3rd and 22 in the first place, the first drive. We got to be better. We got to start faster, be more efficient there. But, that one happens. It happens. He dropped it. But we're going to keep going back to him, and he's going to keep being a big part of what we do.
We have time for 2 more, so we'll go Dave and then Zach.
Carson, injuries are nothing new for this team over the last few years, but this year it seems like, at least offensively, it's kind of taken to a new level. What's your reaction and your teammates' reaction when you're in the huddle and guys are just constantly being cycled through?
Yeah, it's football. Some of these things you can't make up, and you're just, you're putting guys in there that, like I said, might be here for a week, and that's football. It's way of life, and you can't control it. All these injuries, honestly, it's my least favorite part of the game is injuries and seeing guys go down, whether it's serious or minor. I hate seeing it, but you don't have time to worry about that in the game. It's, all right, who's next? Who's up next? Who's going to fill in? And how can we get them up to speed with whatever it is we're doing? Obviously, there's a lot of in-game adjustments, a lot of things that need to be communicated, but that's one thing I'm proud of every guy for being ready to step up and doing their job when called upon.
Last question here with Zach.
Hey, Carson, you've been 4-6, you've been 5-7, but 1-4-1 is new for you. How do you view this record in this season so far?
Yeah, obviously not where we want to be. We've dug ourselves a little bit of a hole here, but for one, I'm excited. I'm excited to build off of the way we finished this game and the resiliency that we've shown really the last 2 weeks, and I'm excited that we get to go back out on Thursday night. We get a quick turnaround. We get to put this one behind us quickly and finally, get in here in our division and hopefully do some good things and get this thing turned around.